This video is all about the Sony a7R5, and I've got a leaked photo for you. It's high resolution and detailed, but there's something rather disturbing in the photo. Details coming up, but first, I encourage you to subscribe and choose all notifications so you're kept informed on the latest camera gear, news, and rumors. When it comes to leaked photos and specifications of the upcoming Sony a7R5, Sony Alpha rumors headed by Andrea has, well, been at the top of the list, and today is no exception. Andreas, in his live stream, released a new leaked photo of the a7R5. So without further ado, here it is. Here's the first ever leaked photo of the Sony a7R5. As we can see with the logo there, this is the Sony a7R5. Because it's high resolution enough, we can get in and we can see there's no signs of tampering or photoshopping of this image in any way whatsoever. And below the menu button and the C3 button, take a close look. Do you notice that hinge? The hinge that you would only get if you had a fully articulating flip screen or flippy screen. Despite previous rumors that the a7R5 would have a 4-axis LCD, this one, the a7R5, a stills hybrid camera, has a flippy screen. Yeah, so there it is. We don't get that 4-axis LCD that we were rumored to get just a day ago. We're getting confirmed here with this leaked photo, assuming the leaked photo is accurate, and from what I'm seeing that is, and Sony Alpha Rumor says, yes, this is a leaked photo of the a7R5, then yes, we've got a flippy screen. Not a 4-axis, a 3-axis, 2-axis LCD, but a flippy screen. Now, me personally, I do love a flippy screen because of what I shoot, the scenarios that I shoot. I shoot video most of the times, and most of the times I'm shooting between 24 millimeters and about 50 millimeters. But when you're shooting long, you're shooting wildlife, you're shooting stills, portraits, and fashion, you don't want to take your eye off the image. You don't want to take your eye off the line of sight of where the lens is. I mean, the EVF isn't off to the side, is it? No, it's right along the line of that axis towards the lens. And when I'm shooting things like Jupiter and Saturn and that LCD is flipped out, yeah, it does make things a little bit more difficult for me. I have to put the flippy screen right back, but now I've lost that tilting option. I get why you're disappointed. The Sony a7R5, after all, is a professional high-end stills camera first, video second. It's aimed at photographers. And while many watching this channel don't mind a flippy screen, myself included, I'm a little bit surprised here. A little bit surprised, not a whole lot. You see, Canon for the last couple of years has been going crazy with flippy screens, as has Nikon. It seems that the love of a 4-axis, 3-axis LCD, well, it's loved by a few, a very small minority, just like a stills-only camera has become a thing of the past. I so too think that a multi-axis LCD has become a thing of the past. So with the Sony a7R5, let's take a look at the image again. Having this hinge indicating that it has a flippy screen, the real question is, what does Sony's customers think? What do you think? Will this be enough to get you to buy the a7R5 or completely put you off it? Do you really care that it has a flippy screen? Does it really matter to you? I mean, after all, a flippy screen can be flipped all the way in, so it's right flush against the camera. The only problem then becomes is when you're moving the camera low or high, you have to crunch down to be able to be within view of everything that's going on. No different than the EVF. So a little bit disappointing, but taking a look at that image again, the first thing that came to my mind outside of that hinge was, here's a look at somebody's future camera. This might be somebody's first camera. Everything about this photo, the feel, the touch, the colors, will be burned into that person's mind. I remember my first ever camera. I remember the touch. I remember the box. I remember opening it up and getting that smell, that strange, unique plastic smell, not an off-putting smell, but a unique smell. And then opening up the camera, taking a look, touching it, turning it on, putting the battery in, of course, first, playing with it, taking my first shots, putting on the lens. In the case of the R5, it was the 50mm f1.2. In the case of my 50D, it was a terrible lens. It was a kit lens. I think it came with the 17 to 55 or 17 to 85, 87. That first camera, and this could be somebody's first camera. The a7R5 has a full suite of specifications, a full suite of amazing specifications. It's going to be a truly impressive camera. Yes, it's going to have the same 61 megapixels as the predecessor, the R4, but you're getting so much throughput from the sensor to the processor, the storage, all through the camera's bus. You're going to be able to process a whole lot more information. We're going to get a whole lot more detail, and we're going to get better low light. And the rumor says we're supposed to also get a BSI sensor, However, that was from the same rumor that said we were getting a 4-axis LCD touchscreen. So I don't really know too much about that. We'll just have to wait and see. But the consensus is from Sony Alpha rumors, triple confirmed, this camera is going to be able to process a whole lot more data. But where that's being done, that's really good news. It's going to have a new AI chip, and it's going to be responsible for a new AI autofocus system, a new autofocus system for the Sony a7R5 that will also debut on other Sony cameras coming up in the future. But don't expect it to show up in a firmware update for existing cameras like the Alpha 1 or even the A7S III. I am still excited by this camera, and I wish this detailed high-resolution photo of the Sony a7R5 was, well, stepping back a little bit more, that we could see more of this camera. And I know why. I bet you anything, Andre at Sony Alpha Rumors has a whole stack of photos, and he's going to start leaking them out slowly, one at a time, to drive up attention. I wish we just got them all at once so we could just sit back and look at them and appreciate them. But we're just a few days away. October the 26th, 10 a.m. Toronto and New York time is when we're getting the announcement of the Sony a7R5. And shipping, well, it might ship, I would suspect, sometime before Christmas, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. We're just a few days away now. It is what, the 22nd today? Yep, it's the 22nd. So we got the 23rd, 24th, 25th. I'm going to just say 3 days because you know it's going to be as soon as we wake up on the morning of the 26th, and that's going to be pretty exciting. I'm not going to be able to take that day off to provide full coverage. I have a full workload at the office. My son's got a doctor's appointment. My wife is off that day. It's a crazy day. I'm going to do my best to provide as much coverage as I can that day, at least covering off the announcement of the a7R5, and then maybe later on in the day, doing a live stream. Wouldn't that be great? Cover off the Sony a7R5. I'm really looking forward to this camera. The A7S III, the A7 III was one camera that I was really looking at getting. It was an affordable camera for me, around $3,000 Canadian. Then I held off to wait to see what the A7S III was going to do. Never ended up going with Sony because Canon came out with the R5, but the R4 versus the R5, wow, the R5 looks like a significant step up over the R4, at least in processing capabilities, and everything else, it seems to be a relatively, well, improvements across the board. So we're just a few days away, and if you want to stay up to date on the latest news and rumors or any leaked photos coming out on the Sony a7R5, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, followed by choosing all notifications. By choosing all notifications, as soon as I publish a video like this one here, YouTube will send you a notification, so that way you can stay up to date on the latest camera news and rumors. Instead of scouring all the Twitter feeds, RSS feeds, Telegram, Instagram, YouTube websites, Facebook, whatever it is, if you're crushed for time like many of us, all you have to do is subscribe, choose all notifications, so that way as soon as I publish any video, you'll be the first to know. I cover all the major camera brands, all the major news, so if it's major, well, subscribe and choose all notifications, and you'll be the first to know. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great weekend, and we'll see you again soon.